Hello friends, greetings, welcome. I'm glad you clicked on this video, took the time to watch this. And today I want to be talking about a technique on how to create a shield to protect yourself from other people's negative energy, from other people's bad intentions. And there's been numerous things written about how to use the mind to shield negative energies. But I have a very simple technique which I found has helped quite a few people that have trouble visualizing an actual shield surrounding their bodies. But before we get started today, I'd like to send your way all the positive energy, all the good vibration, and all the best wishes in the universe coming at you. You know, our minds are very receptive to everything externally which surrounds us. And a lot of people who consider themselves empaths are even more susceptible to all these energies which surround them. Now, you may be an empath if you're in large crowds and you feel jittery and you feel like you're overwhelmed by all the background noise, all the sounds, all the inputs, all the external information seems to overload your psyche. It just seems to bombard you. There's a good chance you're an empath. And empathetic is basically having feelings for other people around you. And when someone's an empath, they absorb and sense all these emotions and informations from people around them. So if you go out into a shopping mall, if you go into a large crowd, if you're packed with people, if you're waiting in a line and there's people around you, you may have a tendency to absorb their energy, to hear all their thoughts in the background, and it might just drive you crazy. But there's techniques, there's actual shields which you can make that protect your mind and your psyche. Now, using these shields is a technique that you have to study and learn, and they're very simple. It's as simple as visualizing a shield which covers and protects your body. But some people often have trouble visualizing this. So if you're one of those people that has trouble visualizing an actual shield protecting you, this technique can help you. What you need to do is find a light in your house, a bright light, something that's shining, puts out a lot of electricity, a lot of frequency. Turn this light on. It could be an overhead light. It could be a lamp in your room, anything that's extremely bright. Now, don't use the sun. The sun's so bright it could actually damage your eyes. But what you want to do is turn on this light, look directly into it for a moment, and then close your eyes. Once you close your eyes, inside your mind there will be a visual print of that bright light glowing. Now open your eyes and imagine that bright light directly in front of you. Imagine that bright light sitting right about your forehead area, just shining and glowing. Now imagine that light source completely surrounding your entire body. Every inch of you is protected and covered by this powerful light. And if you can't visualize this technique, flip the light on again, stare directly into the light, then close your eyes. With your eyes closed, you'll be able to see the light imprinted in the back of your mind. Now practice when you go out. If you go into a crowded space, if you're around people with negative energy, practice visualizing that bright light that you looked at directly in front of you. And you can do this with your eyes open. Because after you look at this bright light, even when you open your eyes, you'll still see the imprint of that light directly in front of you. Now, the technique for shielding yourself is to envision this bright light right in front of you and the energy completely surrounding your body. And tell yourself in your mind, this bright light protects me from all negative energy. I am completely surrounded by the aura of positive light. I am shielded from all bad intentions, from all negative energy. As you walk through a crowd, practice this technique. The next time you go shopping in a grocery store and there's people waiting in line to check out, or as there's people walking down the aisles, and if you start to become overwhelmed by different people's thoughts, by different people's background noise, envision the bright light in front of you. Imagine that bright light surrounding you. Now our minds drift, our thoughts wander. So if people start to distract you again, picture that bright light in front of you once again. Constantly refocus the mind, because the mind is very quick and analytical. It's changing from 1 second to the next, from microseconds, analyzing all the information around you. So you have to constantly refocus upon this bright light surrounding you and protecting you. Try this next time you go out to a store. It's a great technique. And as your mind focuses all the energy on this light in front of you, you imagine a shield protecting you from everything. All the things that once bothered you can no longer affect you. You'll find yourself calmer around crowds. You'll find yourself calmer around people. And these techniques can be used around negative people that seem to drain your energy. Sometime in the workspace, there's no way to completely avoid negative people. Because the best way for your own energy, for your own self, with negative people that drain your energy is to completely avoid them. If you can be as far away from them as possible, the better. But it's not always an option. If you're at a job where you have to deal with somebody that's negative, you can use this technique, and the person you're talking to doesn't even have to know you're using the technique. Let's say you're talking to a coworker, it's semi-work related, you have to communicate with them, but every time you talk to this individual, you just feel drained. There's been people in my life I've dealt with where it's like they come talk to me and I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk to this person. But I'm in a work position and I'm being professional. I want to earn my wages so I can enjoy the luxuries of life and food and everything else. So I have to deal with these people. And what I learned, this technique that you can use as well, envision this glowing light in front of you when this person's talking. You don't have to let the person know that you're using this technique. You can just subtly imagine a bright light appearing in front of you and completely surrounding your body. This is your shield. This is a mental technique to help you around people with negative energy that you can't avoid, around large crowds if you feel panicky and just overwhelmed by these crowds of people and noise. These techniques definitely work. And if you look at the highest levels of athletics, sports, and all these different things in society, they hire professionals to teach them similar techniques. They hire what's called sports psychologists. And sports psychologists sit down with the athlete and they train them to focus and quiet their mind. They train the athletes to envision within themselves that they're protected from their opponents. They train these athletes at the highest levels, Olympian athletes, gold medal winners, the top people that people look up to and admire in society are trained in very similar mental techniques. Our minds are very powerful. But if your mind is on overdrive and crowds are affecting you and all these negative sources are coming into you, all your mind's energy can be turned inward toward you with critical thoughts. So you need to learn to quiet your mind. The shield is just as much for yourself to quiet your own thoughts as it is to keep out external thoughts. So practice these techniques. The next time you go out in a crowded place, you feel uncomfortable. The next time you're dealing with somebody that is just draining you and has horrible negative energy, envision this white light in front of you and really picture it just glowing. And if you're unable to focus on it and remember it, find an overhead light source and stare directly into the light. And then close your eyes and re-envision your shield protecting you, this bright glowing light protecting your being. These are wonderful techniques which can make your life a lot easier around crowds and negative people. Try them out. I hope you like them. I hope you're doing well out there. And in these times, in this day and age, when we deal with so much negativity, so much hostility, it's great to focus our minds on pure, simple thoughts like energy and light. Block out all the negative external sources. These are simple forms of meditation which can shield us from the negative hostilities that we sometimes encounter in this world. And if your own thoughts are becoming negative and you're being self-critical, be very assertive with your own mind as well and tell yourself, stop. I will not tolerate negative thoughts about myself. I will only think positive, strong, intelligent, well-founded, self-esteem ideas. And use these concepts every day in your life and your existence. You'll find the simplest things in life become easier. You'll find life is so much better when you can stop being your worst enemy. Because all of us have brilliant minds. They're the greatest machines, the greatest calculators, the greatest computers in existence. But when these minds go on overdrive, it leads to insanity, it leads to addictions, it leads to all these negative energies that we encounter in society. But simple techniques like this can help everyone, from top athletes to people with negative coworkers. Everyone can benefit from the simple technique of quieting your mind. Try it. You may enjoy it. It may help your life and it may help your existence. And wherever you are in this universe, I hope you're doing fantastic. I hope you're doing wonderful. And as I leave, I'd like to once again send you some positive energy, some best wishes, and all the good vibrations in the universe coming at you.